with everything to gain.
You go for the big score. Am I hearing you right? One robbery, you're set.
And nothing to lose.
The money! It's not your money. Not your money. It's half of mine. Let go! You let go!
Back off.
Oh. I don't want to die like this, Nick. I really don't think you should be moving right now. Call the paramedics. Have them meet me with a gurney. I'm going to count to 3. 1. Don't touch the sheet. 2. Are you on 2 already? 3. I got it. You go, boy.
Nothing to lose.
What kind of man stays out till 2:30 in the morning? Boy, don't you talk back.
Don't talk back to your mother.
You got that slap cause you with it.
What's cracking, everybody? Welcome to another Black History Month movie review. I am here with Quez, of course, and I'm primetime James Thomas. And tonight we are going to be discussing the 1997 comedy Nothing to Lose, starring Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins, and yeah, man, this is gonna be an interesting one because me and Quez had a little bit of a conversation about this movie before we went live. This is gonna be interesting. First of all, Quez, so how are you enjoying this lovely Friday night?
Hey, it's a not below zero Friday night, so I'm loving it.
Of course, it's like 20. It's 25 degrees right now. I'll take that over 5 any day.
It's at freezing 32 degrees here.
Okay, salute. I respect it. Hey, man, spring will be here before we know it, so we don't have to deal with this horrible ass weather. We don't have to deal with this anymore.
Please.
But yeah, man. Nothing to lose. We are discussing tonight. This one is going to be an interesting one because this was Quez's first time watching this movie, and for me, I have said that this is my favorite Martin Lawrence film, and there is a particular reason why this is my favorite Martin Lawrence film. I remember.
Yeah, because you gotta explain that to me.
Okay, so, but seriously, like this came out in 1997. All right, now at this point, me and my family, we was living here in Davenport, right? But we would still every once a month. We would go take, we would travel to Chicago to visit the family once, or spend the weekend in Chicago whatsoever. And then I don't remember much about the trips besides the drives themselves and the music my dad would play. And of course, going on to my grandmama's house. But every time he always made a point to go to Blockbuster and rent a movie, pretty much. And I remember this was the movie that my father rented. And I remember my family, my brother, and my cousins in my grandmother's living room watching this movie, and I remember everybody in my family was cracking the hell up watching this movie because at the time we was all big Martin fans, and believe it or not, my father loves Shawshank Redemption. That's the movie that Tim Robbins was just coming off of, and I remember it's particularly, we were just talking about this, particularly the spider scene. I remember my family just laughing and crying and falling out their chairs at this scene. And then I always remember I also remember too, every time we go back to Chicago, if it wasn't my family, it was my brother always watching this film because he was a big Martin fan. He was always watching this film. And once I was old enough to see what was going on and understand the movie, I'm like, oh, this movie's fucking hilarious. And also a big reason why I say it's my favorite Martin movie, it's because I love Martin's energy in this. I think Martin is cooking all throughout this movie. For me, he is. And And for a combination you would not think would work with Tim Robbins, again, comes from Shawshank Redemption, Jacob's Ladder, missing a very good, accomplished actor, Tim Robbins. He's had a very successful career in acting. You would think with a combination, you wouldn't think that it would work. I mean, the combo seems random, but it worked. I thought it worked really well here. And I thought the story was good. And I dug this movie. And you can say it's for nostalgia reasons. And also, I remember the soundtrack to this film. I remember the soundtrack. Quez, do you remember the time when soundtracks was just as important as the movies was?
Absolutely, especially through if you guys could think back chronologically through our past movie reviews that we covered for Black History Month. Think about all the films that we covered, ranging from Set It Off to Boomerang to doggone even with this movie, a lot of those important soundtracks, Friday, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, those were staples because they displayed not only the music at the time for what was released and how it coincided with the movie, but also new music that wasn't previously released. And they would make those exclusive for those soundtracks that you could only get through those at the time. And no, not something you can get through streaming or through the Apple Store, whatever. You had to go and buy the album, the specific soundtrack, or go listen through to the movie through it, and then get those songs. That was the essential part of it, especially during that time.
Absolutely. But I remember the songs from the soundtrack. You had the Little Kim Ladies Night remix with Little Kim, Angie Martinez, and Lisa Lopez. I remember that video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Brat. I remember Coolio. See you when you get there. I specifically remember that from the credits with Martin and Tim Robbins running from his mama.
I was not expecting that song to be in there. That was another surprise. I was not expecting that song to be.
And of course, the best song on the soundtrack for me, "Naughty by Nature," title song, "Nothing to Lose." But yeah, I just think it's a dope film. I think Martin is 100% on his A game here. And I just think the movie was just hilarious. It's just absolutely hilarious.
James, let me ask you real quick. During the time when, of course, Martin was shooting and this movie came out, where was Martin at with his career-wise? Because I'm having a blank. Because you said this was released in 97, so this was shot easily between 96 and 97. Where was he at during the release of Martin? If that show was still on, or did it end by that time?
I'm very certain that the Martin show had just ended at this point, and Martin was making that transition to being a movie star. And they also got to think about this. Thin Line Between Love and Hate came out in 97 as well. And of course, that was during a time in Martin's life around Thin Line Between Love and Hate time when things started getting a little weird for Martin. If you know, you know. But yes, around this time, the Martin show had just ended. And of course, he did Bad Boys, all that stuff, and then
Because I was just gauging because how you were just sounding like Martin was on his A+ game here. I'm just saying, if he translated any energy that he had from consistently filming for Martin, and they going forward to his future projects that just happened to coincide after that, with this movie included.
Oh, you could absolutely feel the Martin energy from the show onto this movie. Like I told you, this felt like his performance as T. It felt like Martin from the show. Like the energy that he had here, he didn't have in that last season of Martin. so that last season, Martin had he could tell he was done with the show. Here, this Martin felt like the first 2-3 seasons of Martin, 100%. But yeah, I just think this movie is just great. Quez, what was your being that this is your first time watching this film? What was your overall thoughts?
Well, going into this, like James mentioned, this is my first time going into the movie. I had an idea this movie existed, but I just never went back to watch it. But now that when we got the set list and was putting together like what films we were gonna do, we knew we had to have the obvious choices or whatever. Like we had to have Tupac in there, and we had to have the dramas in there, of course, and we had to have a Martin movie in there, of course, because Martin's one of the staples in this series. Now, Nothing to Lose, never seen this before. So I'm like, okay, we did the Eddie movie and blah, 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 but I never seen Martin's movie before with this one. So I went into it with zero expectations, zero idea of it, and James didn't give me no hints outside of something about a spider. That's the only thing he told me about, just like, look out for the spider. I didn't know what he was talking about. So I just went into this with fresh eyes. And then going into the film, I had no idea what to expect, and I'm like, where's this going? Why is this a slow start? This doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know when the movie's gonna pick up. And then eventually it picked up with Martin getting introduced into the film, and the story picks up. I'm trying to follow it, and I see what's happening, and it eventually got me engaged through the antics and the action that was going on through the course of the movie. And granted, Martin did help carry this movie with his acting wise and his comedy. And Tim Robbins eventually, like, I was getting a little bit more into his character to help try to solidify it with me, along with the supporting cast that was in the film as well. And overall, I would say that for the first time watching this movie, I think it was pretty okay. Now, do I rank it as high as like a performance like, and when I say performance, I'm not saying specifically like Martin performance, but it's like overall quality movie-wise. Am I putting this over a thing like Between Love and Hate? No. Am I putting this over a Bad Boys? I'm not going to do that because that doesn't count. That's Martin and Will Smith. I'm not going to do that. Am I putting this over National Security? Possibly, maybe not. Am I putting this over Blue Streak? No. Maybe I'll put this movie over Rebound. How about that? I'll put this over Rebound, College Road Trip.
Good man.
I'm gonna do that. Even though I didn't hate Rebound, I appreciate it for what it was, but I respect this movie, and we're gonna go in and talk about this in depth with the story and everything. What were some standouts? And when we do the character assignments, oh my god.
Oh man, and also too, this also has like you mentioned this, because this has a really good cast. Like, because you have the heels, John C. McKinley and Giancarlo Esposito as the heels, the bad guys in this film. I thought they were great in their roles. First of all, shout out to Giancarlo Esposito, man. Like, that man, he's one of those actors that people know, but still doesn't feel like he gets the recognition that he deserves. Same with
He's been around for decades.
John McKinley. For 40 years. And the same way goes for John McKinley. Like every time I see him in the movie, he always does his thing. Of course, he was in Set It Off, and Giancarlo Esposito, we saw him in Waiting to Exhale. Like it has a really strong cast. So I really, really dug this cast. So let's go ahead and discuss the story. So the movie starts. We meet Nick Beame and his wife. Funny enough, Quez, it sounds hilarious, but another staple of the Black History movie. It sounds blasphemous, but another staple of Black History movie reviews. His wife, Kelly Preston. Now, Quez, did you recognize her?
No, I did not, honestly. Like, I seen it's a familiar face, but I couldn't put two and two together with it like that.
She was the white woman that Michael Beach was cheating on Angela Bassett with in Waiting to Exhale.
Right.
Yes. So Kelly Preston, of course, John Travolta's wife, and passed away a couple years ago due to breast cancer. Rest in peace to her. Very, very beautiful woman. Very beautiful woman. Another staple of Black History Month reviews is in this as his wife, and we get to introduce to Nick Beame's life pretty much. He's the him and his wife, Kelly Preston, they have a happy, fun marriage, pretty much. He's a high executive at a marketing firm, and you get to learn really quickly that he's living his best life. Living his best life. He has a good marriage, has a good job. His boss, Michael McKean, I believe his name was. He's a friend. He's a friend of Nick's and the family's, but he's kind of a dick. Which was kind of the trope. Back in the '90s, where you had that storyline where you had the worker, then you had that asshole boss that's always overworking. The employee, like those movies where you're like, hey, I get to go have a day with my wife or see my son. At the very last second, the boss stacks like a whole box full of papers. Hey, I need this done by tomorrow and all that stuff. Like, hey man, just know you're my number one guy. Like those type of bosses, right? You don't really see that anymore nowadays, but that was a thing in the '90s when the boss was always an asshole.
And you had your kiss up, you had suck ups.
Yeah, you had the suck ups, which we didn't get. We didn't get in this movie. We didn't get no suck ups in this movie. Yes, but Nick Beame, he's he living a good life. He got the little Rebecca Gayheart. Rebecca Gayheart makes appearance in this film. She's the florist who sells at the first floor of the market. First, she sells flowers. So who you already she's crushing on him a little bit. So he's living the life. Like young, probably like late, mid to late 30s. Got a good job. Got for 1997 standards, has a good ride, like a GMC type of ride. Big, nice, beautiful house, beautiful wife. Got a little 20-some-year-old crushing on him, living a good life. And he's not flashy. He's actually he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Like even when you present him with an idea, if he doesn't like it, he'll let you off easy. Because like the scene with there was like a scene where they try to pitch an ad to like these chocolate chip cookies, and she's leaving like a trail of chocolate chips, and they said, dude, it looks like poop, it looks like shit, like it doesn't look right, for the kids and all that stuff, which I'm like, that's a valid point. That is a valid point. Did you agree with that, Quez?
Yep. I see what she was doing, but it's also like perception is reality, and I'm like, who does that? Like, you trying too hard.
Exactly. So pretty much he's supposed to have a dinner with his wife, but he had to stay late because his boss has to go smash this chick, so he had to stay late to cover for the interview he's supposed to have with some marketing exec whatsoever. Then we learned that plans get canceled, so he's able to take his wife out to dinner, but he can get off early, pretty much. So he gets off early, he plans on surprising his wife, and then he comes home, and then he hears some noise upstairs. And this is kind of the type of guy that Nick is. Like, he's not a violent person. He's a square. He's a square. Like, he didn't know what weapon to use for the intruder. They had like a little ass knife. It had a little ass can of mace. Like he's not a violent guy. So he comes home. He goes upstairs to where the commotions is at, and then he sees his wife riding pipe. Well, really well. She knew what she was doing, and
tragic.
And he is just, and Nick's heart is just he's heartbroken. He's heartbroken. He's upset, and then what to add more salt to the wound, he sees cufflinks of his boss's initials. PB, and that's what he calls his boss, PB. So Nick is the mindset of, okay, so that's why my boss tried to get out early and all that stuff, and So his wife is having an affair with his boss, and he doesn't take it well. He does not take it well at all. Like the man is driving on the interstate like 15 miles per hour, and he's just driving like in a daze. Like he's driving, like he is in a daze, pretty much. He's just driving, no destination. Like no, he's running stop signs, he's running red lights. Surprisingly, he didn't get killed. Like he is just shell shocked right
Love don't
now.
live here anymore.
Yeah, man. Like you might as well could have played that, bro. You might as well could have played that. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas, but I was
Nah.
getting those type of vibes. Oh yeah, another great. It's not a black movie, but great film, Falling Down. And this is when this is when the Nothing to Lose theme comes in this film, because from this point on, he carries himself. He walks through life like he literally has nothing to lose, and he starts to become a little unhinged. Yeah, because how do you feel about these opening scenes where we meet Nick and his wife? You know, his life at his job, and the realization that his wife is cheating on him with his boss.
When I was watching this from the beginning, and then I see like, man, his life can't be that great. I did see the camaraderie like him and what his wife had, and I'm just seeing it. I'm like, you know, I respect the relationship because they both sarcastic, because I understand both their lines of work and jobs are like very stressful. So it's like they joke around, they play around, they a couple smart asses, and they in love. So whatever works for them, and I respect the fact that they told that story with their relationship. And it seems like, yeah, these are all great. Nothing can go wrong. Until something went wrong, as near predicted, when he went home and he caught his wife bumping uglies with the op. I mean, boss. I mean, that was just tragic, yo. Although I don't mean to get ahead, but I'll say that I kind of had a feeling a little bit early, like things ain't always what they seem. You know what I mean? But in his head, it's just like, yo, he just took off and ran with it. He didn't know what to do with himself, except just drive off. It was like, I don't want to live anymore. I can't believe this bitch. He talked cheat on me with this bozo. I hate everybody. I'm just going to weave around and crash my car. I don't know what to do. And yeah, he was down bad, bro. He was down bad.
Now, I also want to say this too. Shout out to Tony Tone. You know, it's always great to hear them, like to hear them in the opening song. If I had no loot, it's always nice to hear them. Probably one of the most underrated groups in the New Jack Swing era. Absolutely.
And there was a few incorporations of songs during that too. Like from that era, they incorporated a few songs from there.
Sure did. So like I said, you know, Nick he's just in a daze. He's just in a daze, no emotion on his face, and then he winds up in the hood. He winds up in the hood. Listen to that that jam by Naughty by Nature, Nothing to Lose. And then he stops at a stoplight. And then we got that classic Martin, welcome to hell, bitch. You know, he said, cars, keys, wallet now. You hear what I said? Like, you know, like Martin, like as soon as Martin is on screen, it's like he's cooking. Right, as soon as he's on screen, and you automatically can see that Martin, he's not good at robbing. Like he's not good at it, because Tim Robbins takes control of the situation immediately. Because at this point, Tim Robbins, Nick Beame doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck at this point. And he tells Martin, boy, you picked the wrong guy on the wrong day. And he just starts driving crazy. Like he's driving like 80 miles per hour on a 35 mile an hour street, pretty much. And great performance by Martin when he's in the car freaking out. He's like, "Yo, man, there's a truck right there! Stop!" You know. And then it gets to a point where Tim Robbins he doesn't give a fuck at this point, Quez. He threw his wallet out. He threw his wallet out. He threw his money out, and he threw his cell phone out. He didn't care. He did not care. And then eventually it was, but he clearly wasn't thinking. He clearly was not thinking at that point because he didn't give a fuck. He literally felt like he had nothing to lose, pretty much. And then it gets to a point where they're pretty much driving to Arizona. From LA to Arizona. Like I told you, the man just kept driving, right? And Martin is stuck. He's just stuck with this man in his ride. And I thought, this performance by Martin was fucking fantastic. When where he's like, all right, man, you win, okay? Oh fuck, we out here in the desert. I'm here with a freaking Jason psycho killer motherfucker. Please don't kill me, freaky Jason. I said, please don't kill me, freaky Jason. And the whole time Nick Beame is just stone faced, no emotion. It did kind of feel like he really could kill this man if he wanted to. You really did feel like, this man for real might become a serial killer. So they end up at a diner. Another great bit by Martin, like, I can't feel my ass. My ass fell asleep. Tim Robbins is like, yo, man, get out, get the fuck away from me. I'm gonna go to this diner, and I'm just gonna recollect my thoughts whatsoever. Martin, he's trying to catch a ride. He can't. So they pretty much become bonded together at this point because they kind of need each other. Martin needs Nick to get back home, and Nick needs Terrence to pay for gas because, again, he threw out his wallet. He didn't really realize until he had to pay for the coffee he got for the diner. And they pretty much become oddly friends along the way. And from this point on, Quez, he is like the only friend that Nick has at this point.
Think about this though. Think about how scary it is to not have any money in a sundown town looking place like they was out at a diner.
Yeah, like in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert. And
then look who had to bail him out.
Martin bailed him out. But even though even though they did have a fight, because Nick realized he had a spare credit card, but he realized it was expired. I thought the fight was funny. I loved how Nick Beame gave Martin that Dusty Rhodes bionic elbow to him, which legit fucked Martin up. He was like, motherfucker, and then they wind up having breakfast pretty much, and then Martin seems to figure out what's going on with Nick. Oh, you clearly got woman problems. And Nick is like judging Terrence. He says, you're a scum of the earth, you're a robber. Like bro, why should I help you? You had a gun to my head, and another great moment by Martin here. When he's talking about what he would have done if he saw his wife fuck another man. Great speech by Martin. I would have went Terminator on him. Boom, boom, boom. He's like, you think I'm some fruity pie? I ain't no fruity pie.
He was just going in.
He was going in. Martin was going in. I laughed so hard at this because Martin was trying to figure out what Nick did. He was like, did you whoop his ass? No, but I bet you hit him with a bat, didn't you? And he's like, no, I just walked away. I just left. Like, what do you mean you just left? No, I just left. I saw them, and I walked away. And the pause by Martin, and he goes, what a pussy. um, and then we also learned that Martin is full of shit because as soon as he gets back home to his wife and family, his wife and mama checks him, which is great. Which again, that sounds like Martin from the show, like 100%. And then for some reason, when Martin goes on his rant about what he would have told his wife, this triggers Tim Robbins, and then he goes to strangle him. He goes to fight again in the bar. So yeah. I thought as soon as Martin comes on the scene, the movie picks up, and he literally carries this film. Like I said, his energy is on point. Martin's cooking. And surprisingly, the chemistry between him and Tim Robbins is like they're working really well together. So from Martin trying to carjack Nick all the way to the diner, how you feeling so far, Quez?
I feel like you said, once T got integrated into the film, and then once their interactions it's like the film picked up because the character T helped the main character like get his footing in and help progress the story along. Because you have this one dude's trying to rob you, but then at the same time, it's like, yo, y'all both need each other because he couldn't punk him. It's like, bro, wallet, keys. And it's like, no. What else you gonna do? And it turns out from the beginning parts of it, it looked like dude was more hardcore than T was. Like, he was more about that than T. Because he couldn't really shake him.
Yeah.
He ain't had nothing to lose for real. And he was squabbling up with him. And then the fact that you called it that bionic elbow that he hit T with, I'm just like, dang, you lost all your street critical. You let the dude hit the dusty roads on you. Like, for real, though.
But that right, he hit that nigga right on the nose though, bro. Like it threw Martin off guard.
There was no receipt given, at least from what I see. But yeah, the movie started picking up from there, and it was starting to get a little enjoyable for me. And then it would only get more interesting.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Now, Quez. Now, I do want to ask because they were going on having this discussion about what they would have done if they were in that certain situations. Just because, Quez, what would you have done? You're coming home from a long day's work, and you see someone who looks very much like your girl smashing what looks like another dude in your bed. I got a feeling, Quez, you wouldn't just walk away. Chat, I'm certain you wouldn't just walk away.
I plead the fifth. I'm not saying this on there.
I understand. So then we get to we learn that T once again is bullshitting. He didn't have no money, so he went to go rob the gas station clerk while Nick is getting gas. All this time, Nick is thinking about his wife, thinking about their wedding day whatsoever. Like he's going through it, bro. He's completely going through it. And then he snaps out of it, and he sees that T is robbing the place. And I thought this scene was hilarious. He tries to leave T, but T, T always, he's very sneaky. Like how he sneakily got in. He sneakily got in the truck twice. Now, he didn't even notice that first time when Martin tried to carjack. He didn't even notice he was in the car. until the gun clicked. So T's a very sneaky motherfucker, and I love this moment when because Nick is a good dude. Like he's like, yo, we need to take that money back. And he's like, no, we need to go. We ain't leaving until we get that money back. Man, I ain't bullshit. We need to go. And then the dude shoots at him, and then Nick goes, here we go. And so they start driving, and we get a high speed. Then we get a chase. We get a high speed chase scene. But I thought the music in this was hilarious. The country music that was playing, it was fucking hilarious. I don't know why it was. It always made me laugh.
Getting chased down by some rednecks, bro.
Getting chased by some rednecks, or you persistent hillbilly motherfucker. He has every right to be. You robbed him at gunpoint. You did.
They lucky they even got that far.
Exactly.
They lucky they made it out the stove.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They would have gotten there sooner if Nick wasn't on some, on some high moral shit. But so then they're getting chased by I think he called him Buford. Buford's come to kill us. So Buford is chasing them with a double barrel shotgun. And right up ahead, there's a cop car that closes in on them. And keep in mind, Nick at this point is still on some fuck everybody, fuck the world. Even if I don't even give a fuck about myself at this point. And he decides to play chicken with the redneck dude. And Martin again is freaking out. He's freaking out. And like you said, Quez, like Nick is more hardcore than T is, because T was losing his shit. But understand, I would have too. Like I'm in here with a dude that's clearly unhinged, and he plays chicken with the redneck, and the redneck dude pulled first. So I was like, oh my god, wow! Like Nick was about to end it right there if he didn't pull off. And I love the cop. Like, well, look at these crazy sons of bitches. So they pull off. Buford crashed his car to the cop, and then another great Mark moment, like I'm alive, you're alive, like, and then Nick like pulls the car over, and then he tells him like, if you're gonna rob somebody, there's better ways to do it. Like, you're after the big money. You're after the big score. If you're gonna run, don't wear a mask whatsoever. Okay. And why would you rob a convenience? What you'll get $200-$300? You'll be set for 2 days. Wow. Like
the blue collar worker trying to tell dude how to actually rob is crazy.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then, they get to that, prejudgment, thing where he's judging things on Martin, and Martin prejudges him, saying, oh, he lives in a big fancy house whatsoever. And then it kind of dawns on Nick. He's like, say, look, take my job. Like, there's a couple guards, there's a security system. I even know the code to the safe of his money. And then it dawns on Nick, because Nick is not on his right. He's not in his right mind right now. Like the man, he's not at that level yet, but he is like a couple of notches below, the self-deletion line. Like he doesn't, like, he's clearly unhinged right now. There's been multiple times we could almost ended it all for himself. So it dawns on he's gonna rob his boss. He's going to rob his boss to get back at him for sleeping with his wife. And T, joins in. He pretty much inserted himself into this plan. He basically said, I was present at the thought of this idea, so that makes me like a part of this. And then he probably threatened to snitch on him when we got back in town.
Yeah, man, 50-50.
50-50, exactly. and then and at pretty much at this point, they have slowly kind of start to bond. They both have a common goal at this point, and then they end up at a. So they're driving back to LA, and and this is also we also kind of learn that there's more to T than meets the eye. We learn that he's very intelligent with tech, with technology and computer programming and all that stuff, and which was very key at the very end. And then we kind of learn why he kind of does things that he does when we get back to his home. But I really liked how it showed that he's not just a dumb criminal. Like, the man is very intelligent with technology, and security systems and all that stuff.
Because
he was certified.
Didn't necessarily have the degree, which you're going to talk about it, but it's going to show like he was going out there trying to get gigs or whatever like that, but he couldn't lock down a steady job because, back in the 90s, that's how they do it. They be like on the, you're not qualified, or we're looking for a degree, or we're looking for somebody with experience, but it's like he has the experience, he has the intelligence, and he has the certifications.
Shit, honestly, it's kind of still the same now when people look for jobs.
I mean, I disagree because folk don't want to work no more.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Yeah, they rely on the government. Yeah, that's another conversation.
Yeah, I'll say like at least prior to the pandemic, I would say like yeah, but at the end of the day, it's you gotta do what you gotta do, and you're gonna talk about it, but it's all for the family though.
It's all for his family. Like, it's all which Nick doesn't know yet. Like he still thinks that this dude is just he's just just a dumb criminal pretty much. And then we get to so they're talking, right? Well, first of all, Martin's playing around with his camcorder, that big ass '90s camcorder, and he sees his wife, and he's like, "Oh, damn! I see why you upset. Not bad, Nick. Not bad." And then they start talking whatsoever, and then Martin just randomly goes, "There's a spider on your head." and I love Tim Robbins. He's like, first of all, I'm not up on this job talking homeboy lingo. What is that supposed to mean? There's a spider on your head. It means there's a spider on your motherfucking head, man. And then again, I think this scene was fucking hilarious. Tim Robbins freaking out, but I think this scene is so goddamn funny. I had to clip it. So here we go.
Nick, it's just a No, don't go crazy. This shit is hilarious. Yeah, you go crazy as a spider. Oh. Hold on, let me focus. Let me focus on this shit. Oh. You got the hot foot. Yo, Nick, get on the good foot. Get on the good foot. Oh, got it.
I think what also makes that scene also hilarious to me. I could just tell that a lot of that laughter was from Martin was genuine. I really think he did not expect Tim Robbins' feet to set on fire like that. You can tell by Martin's reaction. That felt 100% authentic. His laughter. And so we get that scene, which I thought was just comedy gold. And then they get to the gas station. They go back. They go to another gas station. Nick's feet's all fucked up. Even the gas station clerk is looking at it, saying you must be really fast. And then he took Martin's gun. Took Martin's gun because they didn't want to rob him the place again. The clerk sees the gun, pulls a shotgun out on him, going to call the cops. But then Nick, asserts himself. He flips the gun, and puts the gun out on him. He's pretty much saying, look, I ain't gonna rob you. Look, all I just want, is $20 worth of gas, sour fruity twists, and that's it. But you could tell that Nick is like, he was like, listen, don't fuck with me, just give me my gas. That's all I'm asking, like Nick is on the verge, so, and he tells him to rip the phone cord out the wall, but I thought was very, very smart. And all this time, we meet in the middle of all this. We meet John C. McKinley and Giancarlo Esposito's characters. They're driving by, and they see Martin, I don't know, open with a shotgun. And they think this is another crew that's stealing on their turf, pretty much. And then that leads to another funny moment, one of the best moments in the film. So Quez, your thoughts on this portion of the film, knowing how intelligent T is, and the spider scene, and Tim Robbins' accidental robbery at the gas station.
Well, at this point, you can see from where the last conversation we talked about, like their buddy stuff was starting to pick up, even though they were still fighting, still fussing. But they started having they started having their plans together to try to get them to a goal. If you want to rob something, we gotta rob something big. We gotta target something. He already knew what he wanted to go for. He had to go back to his old job. And then on the way back, like I said, they ran to the gas station. They tried to get some stuff in, try to take care of that. And shout out to Nick, because he handled it probably like nearly the best way possible. So it didn't draw supremely a lot of attention, I guess. And T was just on the outside looking in, watching the whole process take place. And you can see, like, if they got that done in that kind of a manner, then that's how you know that they can possibly do it again on a bigger scale. Now, as far as old boy with feet on fire, yeah. When you was first telling me about the spider scene, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. And then I seen what I seen, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of until that fire started. And then I'm like, oh, okay, this dude's on fire. And now and then Martin the whole time just being a goof. Like, he ain't trying to help. He ain't trying to put the fire out. He ain't trying to do nothing. He just laughing the whole time.
And recording it
The whole time. Like, we ain't cool yet, motherfucker. This is still funny. You gonna live. But again, this is all building up towards that relationship they're gonna get into if they're gonna work together to try to case the place. You know what I'm saying? It was something that they had to experience. Even if it cost some dude getting a foot graft now because of his burnt feet.
Yeah, man. Because and also and the reason why his feet was so easily set up. He had good writing on here, because remember, he was at the gas station. He was thinking about his wife. He overfilled his gas tank, and the gas sprayed onto his feet. So
Yep.
So I thought that was good writing there to set that up.
And wasn't there some matches on the ground?
And it was matches on the ground, like, exactly. Exactly. And shout out to the director Steve Odenkirk, who wrote and directed this film. He helped write The Nutty Professor, Bruce Almighty, and he was a security guard. Quez.
Right.
Yeah. He was a security guard. So Nick does his thing. We're even T bigged him up. He's like, not bad, Nicholas, not bad. He's bigging him up. So they're driving. Now keep in mind, J.C. McKinley and Gina Carlo. They start following them because again, like on some gang shit, like they're stealing on their turf pretty much, and they pretty much run them off the road. And I thought this was another great scene here when they tell him to get out the car, and Martin tries to be defiant. Keep in mind his gun is not loaded. His gun's not loaded. Had no bullets in it. So he just figured so he shot Robin with no bullets in the gun, which I think is great. He pulls the gun out. He tries to scare him off. They pull out their weapons, and I love how Martin, he goes, "Oh shit!" He's like, "It's cool. I was just fucking with y'all, man. So what's up? Y'all live around here?" And also, it was also cool to see Gina Carlo and Martin together here because they were in Do the Right Thing together. Well, of course, Gina Carlo was bugging out. And Martin was one of the young knuckleheads. So it was cool to see them, interact again. But Gina Carlo, he's having a blast. He's having fun with this role. Well, he's like when he said, "Where'd you put your booty?" He's like, come on, baby, come watch your feet, he's having a fun time playing this role. So they're about to kill him. They're about to kill T and Nick. And Nick, once again, like I said, he's not in his right mind. He decides to get up and get in John C. McKinley's face and pulls his punk card on him. Like he psychologically broke this dude down on some Kendrick Drake type shit. Like he said, man, you come across as this real scary dude, but I don't see that right now. I see a sad, scared little boy who couldn't make the football team, so he had to pick on third graders and steal their lunch money. He's like, you're nothing but a low life inbred asshole, like something along those lines, right? And again, psychologically broke this dude down. And John C. McKinley, you can tell by his face, it got to him. It got to him. And I love this line. I actually thought this was a good line here where when he's about to kill him, he's about to kill Nick. He says, "Man, you ready to die?" And then Nick looks right at him and said, "Man, he said, man, this will just make you my new best friend." I like that line. He said, "This will just make you my new best friend." And Martin steals the gun from John C. McKinley, and he's waving the gun around like, "Back the fuck up!" And he accidentally shoots Nick in the arm. And Quez, another reason why I think this movie is great is because of it's rated R. Like, it's rated R, and Martin in a rated R setting is when you get the best of Martin. And this scene right here, I always have a feeling, Quez, that you can use the F-bomb. In movies, it has to be done right, in the right moments. Because if you do an F-bomb in every scene, it doesn't have its power. I think here, this scene, this was done so good. When they're all screaming "shut the fuck up" at each other He's like, you shut the fuck up. No, you shut the fuck up. No, you shut the fuck up. And then Martin goes, I want everybody to shut the fuck up. And then Martin, for no reason at all, shoots the tires out. He shoots it like 4 or 5 times. For no reason at all, he did that shit. I was just like, and again, Quez, like I said, this feels like Martin Payne. Like, I can see Martin Payne doing some shit like this.
I mean, he shot the tires though, so they couldn't pursue him.
Exactly. Like, it made total sense. But he just had to shoot it once. He didn't have to shoot it. Like, he didn't have to hit the clip on the thing.
It was for emphasis.
Sure. Okay. All right. Fine. I know it was a little too much. Because again, like Martin's approaches, he does a little too much, and Nick is more like subtle with his shit. But so they leave. And we find out that he didn't really shoot Nick. It was just a little scratch on his arm. Again, Nick just being a wimp, just being a square at that point. And then so they proceed to head over to Martin's place where Nick is gonna crash for the night. I like that scene where he's like, "Oh man, I'm only gonna crash for the night." Like, what? You think I'm asking you to move in? Please, Mr. Beame, stay with me forever. And all this while this is going on, the Giancarlo John McKinley, man, this poor bastard, man. This is why you never pick up hitchhikers, man. Like, he got straight up fooled, bro. He's like, "Where are you from?" "London." "Me too." They just fucking push him out the car, and they're gonna go follow Nick and Terrence to L.A. to fuck him up, pretty much. So how'd you feel, Quez, about this whole scene with our 4 main characters in their confrontation?
A mess. Their encounter was a mess. Humorous, but a mess. Because nobody fully knows what they're doing. They just know what they want to do, but they're not doing it efficiently because they over here letting their ego and inexperience get in the way. Now, granted, Nick again was taking lead when he do what he had to do, but in the moment T started to try to do something Nick ended up getting shot.
I would say grazed. I would say grazed. He didn't get shot. It was grazed by the bullet.
He got hit with a bullet. So even that, it wasn't supposed to happen. But with them, luckily, they get on the feet and just so happen to work out in their favor to get away. It just more so goes back to, again, what type of lucky energy that they have with their Robbins connection. You know what I'm saying? And the heels as you turn them, they've been having moments where they could just like finish them off, but somehow, some way, they always slip up on their own end and let them get away.
Well, I mean, that was during a time, especially
David getting lucky.
I mean, but that was during a time in the 90s when the villains, I mean, for my horror fans on here, like about the Scream movies, like the villain could have finished them off, but they always got to go on this big 5-minute speech about why they're so evil, why they're doing the things that they do. Yeah, realistically, they should have just killed them, but they always got they gotta fuck with them first and all that stuff, and then they just get outsmarted. So that was the thing in the 90s.
Everybody's still dumb, but they got away.
They did. They
tell
did
Nick
get away.
to do the Steve Smith. Go iced up, son.
they may reattach it. Hey, calm down. You're gonna upset your womb. Um, so then, we get to them arriving back to LA, and we begin to meet T's family, his wife. I think it was Irma Hall, Big Mama from Soul
Irma Hall,
Food.
correct.
She was always the mama. Like she was kind of like the original Jennifer Lewis, where she was like the mama of the '90s. You know,
Her, Loretta Devine, Jennifer Lewis.
Loretta Devine. Yeah, like she was always typecast as like the mama in the movies, if not the mama, then the aunt at least. And she was great. Bro, it's probably some of the most vicious slaps I've ever seen in movie history. But I felt them slaps, bro.
I've never got smacked upside, like smacked across the face. Like I've never got that, let alone got smacked across the face like that. Now maybe I got popped upside my head before, but not like that. That's how you know that's old school right there. That's old school.
Yes, that was old school. Bro, like when she smacked me that first time, I just went, ooh! You know? and Nick, who didn't even do nothing, he got smacked. Like he got smacked just for being with him.
Nick was laughing at him, and it's like, and then she smacked him like, "You ain't laughing at my baby. I don't even know you. I don't even want you in my house."
Okay, he was laughing, but he was like, "Man, don't talk back to your mother." Like, so, and I loved when she smacked him. It's like, you got a lot of explaining to do in the morning, mister. And he smacked him again. Then she looked at Nick like she was about to do it again to Nick, but she walked away. Irma Hall she was great in this role. She was great in this role. You know, and then I love Martin. Why you keep smacking me, mama? You know? And when I saw this Quez, I was just like, oh, I hope Quez puts two and two together on this one. Guess who played Martin's son?
Miles.
Yes. So I was like, okay, so he actually was his son in this movie, which I thought was great. I thought that was great. Yeah, little Miles. And then this is when Nick learns that, exactly. And then this is when we learn that Nick learns that, like there's more to Terrence than I really think. He's a loving father. He's a loving husband. Again, is when we learn about the certificates, for engineering, computer engineering, and all that stuff. And then, so Terrence is not nowhere near as bad as I thought he was. He actually is a legit good dude. Which I thought was a great was a great moment. It definitely added some depth to Martin's character for sure. Then we get to them preparing for the robbery for their boss. Again, I think Martin's at his best here. Trying to scare the old white man. Like, he's like, you hit me, motherfucker! You hit me! And then also, like you said, Quez, showing how they approach crime, where Martin's like the loud, boisterous one, and Nick is the more subtle, calm, creepy version. And shout out to the old man. The old man was funny. When Nick asked him, why'd you think Martin was scary? And I love he says, well, and this is how he talks. He's like, well, I thought the freeze motherfucker part was scary, and and he had me convinced that if I moved my ass, he would blow it off. then the fact that and then Nick was like legit disappointed at what he said, and then he tried to make him feel better. It's like, well, you were scary too. They're like, oh, well, thank you, Henry. You know, like, and so they rob the store to get the flashlights. And then, and I love a dude walks in the store, and then Nick just out the window goes, "Free sucker bitch!" And then White hit the whole man was like, oh, "That was much better." And then as they walked away, did you catch what Martin said?
I mean, that line was funny.
Yeah, Martin said, "Man, what the hell is sucker bitch?" So they go. So they go to the job, and long story short, it's successful. Like it's actually successful. They go in, they get the money, they bypass security. Martin using his smarts because Philip changed the code. He was able to delay the alarm system like 5 extra minutes whatsoever, and things go according to plan until once again Nick's not in his right state of mind. They get the money, but then Nick hates Philip so bad. He hates him so much for what he did. He wanted Philip to know that I did this. Like, I did this to you. I want you to see who did this to you. So not only does he take the mask off, but he stabs, he cuts his statue. He like the dick of the statue. Like it literally looked like a dick, pretty much. And again, I love what Martin said. Oh, congratulations! You just cut the dick off a statue. And then Nick, he again has nothing to lose. Like he tells him, like look, nobody messes with Nick. I ain't no punk. I'm not gonna let you get away with what you did with my wife. Like I did. Like almost. Remember what Samoa Joe said to Brock Lesnar? I did this to you. It was me that did this to you. That's pretty much what Nick did. And then now you can say this was unnecessary with the whole security guard thing, but Quez, as a security guard, this shit was so relatable. That's how bored us security guys are, bro. When we literally just have full-on concerts with ourselves because we're so bored, and it makes
that dude was making a whole music video in the warehouse, bro.
Made a whole music video.
It was like that episode of the Boondocks when that man Tom made his own Usher video.
Pretty much, that's exactly what it was. And it was like I think they said like the time, like he started playing with the radio, like I think they said like around 8:15, and then it went to like 9:47. So over an hour he was doing this for so long. Nick fell asleep behind the desk, and Martin just sitting there against the wall, just bored out of his mind. And then I love when they leave, Martin just simply said, "White people."
Well, there it is.
there it was, right there. So yeah, Quez. The heist, it goes without a hitch. They did what they needed to do.
Even though Nick kept trying to sabotage it because he couldn't control his emotions. After he seen that picture, it was like, you know what? Y'all deserve to get robbed.
Yeah, he couldn't control it. So yeah, Quest. So from Nick meeting Nick's family, T's family, to robbing the old white man, to the actual heist, I can say right now, I mean, it's crazy too, because damn, we're already at the heist. So and they were successful. They got away with the money. So what do you think so far, Quest?
my interest at this point really started to pick up once we got into the point where we started learning more about T's character. And that was a part of the swerve that I alluded to you off air, because like I didn't expect this from his character as far as like, I thought he was just some lowly street crook or whatever. But I'm like, okay, wait, he's got a family. All right. And then what he was already previously able to attain with him going to school, getting his certifications, his licensures, like to go ahead and practice engineering and different models of that. But he had different paperwork. He had other paperwork to like where he was applying for a job, rejection letters, and showed that, yo, he's really trying out here. He's really doing the best he can. But again, like I alluded to earlier, sometimes people have to think of, yo, if crime is the best option for me to take care of my family, it'd be something I have to do.
Something you just got to do. And also don't just judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, never do that. I just didn't expect that part of the story. I was like, okay, all right. And then even think about it a little bit further to go into another layer, like how T's characters like this, but you switch it and you got Nick's characters like Nick got all he needs to be, but he's the crash out one. He's the one that's engaging in breaking laws, but T's over here like, you know what? I'm kind of cool on this. I ain't knew all this before. I mean, he just along for the ride.
You know what that sounds like, Quez? Now that you brought that up, kind of sounds like Trading Places.
I did kind of have that parallel too when I was thinking about it last night.
Yeah, it's kind of like Trading Places.
And again, shout out to family. I've seen that family looking. I'm like, bro, I know that is not Miles. He's Martin's son. Get Mo to the E to the Mo to the E to the. And shout out to the, and I forgot the actress name that plays Martin's wife in the film. Shout out to her and the legend, the Hall of Famer, God bless her, Irma P. Hall, which she's still doing her thing at 89 years of age. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her, absolutely.
Shout out to OG, Big Mama, and all that. Which again, this goes again back to the credit of the casting of this film too, to see what you have. And yeah, that's still right there. I'm just like, bro, y'all finna get caught. I hope y'all get caught, because this is like some goofy white privilege type stuff. It's like, bro, y'all had it. Go out the door. Go out the door. Go. You didn't need to do this. And then you over here showing up, doing all these poses and postures and middle fingers onto the camera. And then you took your mask off. This man Martin sounded defeated, because I'm just like, bro, Martin, don't you got the bread? If I would have had the money, the moment I see him doing all this, I'm leaving his ass. Like, no, I ain't getting caught for you. I'm out. And I'm going to trip the alarm on my way out so they can catch you. So you remember it was all those laser beams?
Yeah. Which by the way, when they saw the security guard coming in, but they still went through when they had to hide for cover. That security alarm wasn't shit.
Just going through the motions.
You cannot tell me Martin and Nick, when they head for cover from that security guard, you cannot tell they did not hit those laser beams, bro.
Man.
What'd you think about them robbing the hardware store?
Side mission. Little side mission.
Yes, it was. So then, so again, they got the money. Everything is good. Nick got his revenge. You know, he's gonna go to jail, for sure. And and Nick, he's already thinking about and T, he already thinking about sending his sending his kids to the best schools. He said, me and the wife, we gonna go out all the time and all that stuff. You know, like he's all like the first thing he's thinking about is his family with this money. Which again kind of goes for the kind of person that T is. He's doing this for his family pretty much. You know, and then, you know, Nick, you know, again, still not in his right way. Like he doesn't feel fulfilled. You can easily tell, you know. So he goes and gives himself a drink, and this is when we meet Danielle, Rebecca Gayheart, the lady that we saw at the beginning of the film. I know, Quez, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Happy Black History Month.
Well, I know. Happy Black. All right, I'll abstain for what I was going to say. Okay, all right. Thank you, Quez. Thank you, Quez. But
Lock in.
Yeah, I'll lock in. So she meets Rebecca Gayheart, who's coming from a party, and again, like I said, she's been crushing. You can tell she has a crush on Nick, pretty much. Now. Crazy enough, is it weird that I kind of had Liv Morgan vibes from her? Like, I kind of had Liv Morgan vibes from her for a second there. Now, they get to talking, and then one thing leads to another, and then they just start going at it in the elevator. Pretty much with that Ladies Night remix playing. Now this Nick has every right. He has every right to get back at his wife. You know what I'm saying? You know, because that's what people do. Like, okay, you know, that's one way to deal with it. You know, like, okay, you know, eye for an eye. Pretty much, right? I'm gonna give revenge.
I disagree.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So she's, you know, they're at her hotel room. She's very aggressive, by the way. Very aggressive. You know, and she starts playing that Queen Pin Blackstreet. You know, I recognize the song that was playing. I know my Teddy Riley, and you know, and she's about to get it cracking, but Nick just couldn't bring himself to do it. He could not bring himself. He couldn't bring himself. He couldn't bring himself to smash Rebecca Gayheart, Danielle's character.
She was trying. You said she was trying to get it cracking, but he wasn't trying to crack.
No, he wasn't. Like he wasn't. Like because there are certain people that are like that. That he's so heartbroken about what's happened. Like he's not even. He doesn't want to have sex with anybody else. Like he doesn't want to get revenge. You know, like that's how much he still loves her. That's why he still loves his wife. And there are guys like that. They're not thinking about, oh, she cheated on me. You know, I'm gonna sleep with the first girl I see. Like, even though the door is open for that, but that's not what he's thinking about. He still loves his wife. He could not bring himself to do it. Even though he had a woman that was ready, willing, and able to do everything and anything to him, he couldn't have the heart to do it. And also too, like I said, I could tell that smash. Again, he's a square at the end of the day. That was not his cup of tea. You know, that's not how he likes to get down. You know, she was very aggressive. She was on some young girl shit. I could tell you, I could see a situation where even a young, unmarried Nick would have found his way out of that situation, because that's just not his speed, you know. Yeah, there are some guys that are like, they don't like a girl that's very like aggressive, like, oh, don't be a menace, you know, like, come on, motherfucker, let's get it on. Like, they don't like girls like that. Like, oh, no, nigga, you ain't going nowhere. Like, guys don't like that.
Keep the hot sauce in the refrigerator.
Exactly. Like exactly. Again, I was about to say something, but Quez, yeah, thank you for steering me back on the right track.
I was about to say,
So
this series was going to get canceled.
I mean, I was gonna say there were some decisions that was made that I wouldn't have made. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I would have. Yeah. So anyway, so Nick calls his wife. He calls his wife, which you can say, Quez, is probably what he should have did a long ass time ago, but he threw his phone out. And this is where we get the reveal. This is where we get the reveal.
Collect. I'm sorry, this man called collect throwback on a payphone.
Well,
and that's still love because she answered the phone. Wasn't nobody picking up the phone like back in our day. If you call collect and you lived at that house, you were getting whooped. You better find the nearest neighbor's house to call. I'm sorry. Like, and if you was like somebody else, you call collect, you had 10 seconds to explain what the situation was before you got the phone hung up on. These fools having a whole conversation.
And by the way, Quez, when's the last time you seen a payphone?
Somebody used a payphone or a payphone that wasn't already torn up and yanked out?
No, oh, I mean, you see a payphone that you could go up and use if you wanted to.
Over 10 years ago?
Sounds about right for me. Yeah, those are extinct now. Now, granted, they were very convenient back in the day, but now, since everybody got a cell phone now, even homeless people, ain't nobody use no damn payphone now.
Ain't nobody got a house phone no more either, unless you like you're in your older years. Like ain't nobody even got a house phone.
If you're in an older house. Yeah, if you're in an older house, nobody don't use no land phones now, landline phones now.
Just another bill.
So we get the reveal. We get the big reveal. He goes to confront his wife about what he saw, only to find out. Now, this was mentioned before, early in the movie. Earlier in the movie, when they were planning on their dinner dates, they set up that his wife told that her sister and her fiance was going to come in and visit for the weekend, right? And she was going to leave the key. She was going to have Nick pick them up, only to find out that it actually came a week earlier. But she left the key out for them, and they could come on inside the house, right? So pretty much, Nick saw her sister and her fiance, fucking in the bed. Now, first of all, Quez, time out. This will piss me off still. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at my wife. I'd be mad at them. I'm like, first of all, I wish you would. I wish a motherfucker would. I don't care if you're my brother. I don't care if you.
Not in my bed.
Not in my bed. Not in my bed, bro. Like, no, that is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful, dog. Like, now I would have believed it more if, cause they got a big ass house. I'm sure they had a guest house. Like fuck in the guest house. At least fuck on the couch. But there's no way in hell that if I'm with my girl, right, and I'm going to my girl's sister's place, and when we gonna get it cracking in the house as we all home alone. Even I'm not gonna climb up. I'm not gonna climb up all those damn after we just came up from a flight or a long ass drive. I'm like, damn, let's do it right here on the couch, at least on the guest room. But there's a guest room there. So if I wrote the script, I would have rewrote it that way, Quez. Well, I'm like, okay, that's a little. But again, we're not white, so we don't have that sense of entitlement. So we don't come from that world.
And this dude went in guns blazing for no reason, because when it went back to the wife, it furthered my suspicion, and I'm like, I knew that wasn't her. Only because if you went backwards to that scene, old girl was a blonde. His wife is a brunette.
Yes.
So I seen it. I'm like, wait, that's not his wife.
I mean, their hairstyles was very close. Very close.
The
Like,
color was different.
I mean, but I could see why Nick couldn't mistaken. But that must be a pain in the ass when we have sisters that when you're dating someone whose sister looks just like her. I bet it's a pain in the ass.
Not if someone trying to get with both sisters.
That is true. So that is true. So then Nick asked, "Wait, what about the cufflinks? Like I saw Philip's cufflinks," and she said, "No, Philip left the cufflinks there. She put them on the drawers that way Nick could see them, so to give it back to him." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, so it makes sense." So it was just a big misunderstanding. Pretty much, she's not having an affair. She very much loves Nick. And Nick is relieved. He's happy, like, oh shit, that's great. But then it dawned on him. I love Tim Robbins' performance here. When it dawned on him, he realized, oh shit, he just robbed his boss for nothing. He just robbed his boss. His boss was innocent. And I love how I love Tim Robbins, he goes, shit. So we learned that
realizing he left T by himself.
Left T by himself too with the money. Yes. So it was a big misunderstanding. His wife still loves Nick. She never fucked Philip. And her sister's a piece of shit. She's a scumbag. That would piss me off so much. So Quez, so we get from Nick and T celebrating with the money to Nick not smashing, Danielle's wild, crazy, sexy ass, and then Nick confronting his wife and realizing it was all this big misunderstanding. What do you think about this segment of the movie, Quez?
Nick messed up. Bad.
Yeah, he did.
Bad. Like this was like a parody version of Black Mirror. Like when remember that episode of Black Mirror where old boy got caught doing something and then he was recorded and then they made him do like a whole bunch of egregious actions to try to like get that stuff erased or something like that. This kind of reminded me of that moment out of the situation where this fool was robbing spots with T and he got shot. And then it was to the point where he robbed his boss and his whole business for no reason. You went from nothing to lose, and now you got everything to lose.
Everything to lose, yes. Everything to lose, yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Everything to lose. And also got to think about this, Quez. I just thought about this too. Now that I think about it, yeah, he made the right decision to not smash. He definitely made the right. You want to know why? I said it? Can you guess why I say that, Quez?
Because his wife didn't end up cheating on him, so now he would end up cheating on his wife over an allegation of something he got incorrect anyway.
And also, too, let's not forget this. This would have been even more drama because she works there.
Yep.
She's a florist. So if he don't
think Philip ain't took that down already either.
Think so?
Yes. She eats like Sunday morning. And on top of that, with Philip's money and power, he could get with any chick there. I would not be. I would not be surprised if Flores would be one of them.
But yeah, but you could tell, but from their interaction, you could tell she was crushing on Nick. Like she was flirting with Nick, and you saw how aggressive she was towards Nick. Like she wanted Nick. Now maybe she gets with Philip afterwards, but that was not her first choice.
Okay.
So Nick was smart to not do that, because that would have been, and she definitely does come across as someone that will stalk a motherfucker. Which, by the way, shout out to Rebecca Gayheart, who a year after this did Urban Legend, underrated slasher film where she was the killer. So, and wasn't she also from? She was also in a Heavy D. She was in the Heavy D, Not the Beloved video, and I think she was also known for for some commercials, some facial commercials. I forgot what the thing was called. Not Zima.
Neutrogena.
Neutrogena.
I think she was in those.
Yeah, she was in those. Yeah. She was definitely in those.
I hope she ain't no Noxzema commercial. Jesus Christ, that should burn your face up. That'd be tough. She was in a commercial for Noxzema.
You know what's so crazy, bro? I actually used Noxzema once or twice because my skin was breaking out, and my mom was like, "Use this Noxzema." And yeah.
Burnt it, didn't it?
Yeah, it didn't end well. It made my skin look worse, bro. Yeah. Puberty wasn't fun. It was not fun. So now Nick, now he's panicking. He's panicking right now. He has to get back to T. Unbeknownst to Nick, while he was dealing with Danielle and all that stuff, Giancarlo and Esposito and McKinley, they followed Nick and me to the hotel room that they were at, and they're gonna steal the money. And all right, now I remember the Quez. I remember my family cracking up on this scene as well, bro. This scene with Martin in the chair in the sheet, bro. So pretty much how they had Martin in a chair, like dangling over a ledge, and the only thing that's keeping the chair on the ledge is a sheet that they tied the chair into the door, to those sliding doors. Pretty much all you gotta do is just open either. If Martin moves too much, the sheet will slip and it'll make him go further back. And then, of course, if you open the sliding doors, it's over with, right? So Martin, he's crying. He's like, what do you say? He said, call the paramedics. Listen to me. Get them here as fast as you can. and Nick, he's like, okay, just stop moving. I'm gonna catch the sheet. He's like, no, don't touch the sheet. And again, I love the back and forth between him and Tim Robbins here. Where they're counting. So I'm going to say 1, I'm going to say 2, and I'm going to open it. He's like, okay, 1, 2, I can't hear you. Speak louder, Nick. I said 2. Man, you were 2 already. So Nick opens the door, grabs the sheet, and then Mark's dumbass, he pulls himself down. Now, Quez, Martin should have died, right? We agree on that. He should have died.
It wasn't good.
He should have absolutely died there. That was some movie shit there. So they go to chase the bad guys with the money. Um, runs them off the road, and they have this conversation in the alleyway, pretty much. And I actually like John C. McClane's. I like his acting here. Like where he tells them, like, you know, that like there's the killers, there's everybody else. I'm a killer. Yes, yes. What are you, Nick? You know, I actually like his performance there. And then, you know, again, Nick, feeling re-energized. You know, he's loving it again. He goes, I'm married.
Married.
And shoots the gun. I'm married. You know, and then he shoots the gun out, shoots McKinley's gun out of his hands. You know, and then Martin's reaction was fantastic. And they pretty much make the bad guys force them to give them back the bag of money, and they wind up getting arrested because the state of Arizona has been looking for our two bad guys. So
they fit the description.
They fit the description. Absolutely.
The Walt was like, these are the guys we looking for.
Yep. Exactly. So then, they got the money, you know, Martin feeling good, Tim Robbins is feeling good, except there's a problem. Nick wants to bring the money back.
Boo.
Martin's like, and then Martin's like, nah, fuck that. And so they start fighting again. This is the third fight in this movie. They start fighting, and I actually like that. Now, I always thought Martin was underrated when it comes to acting. Like, actually, like acting. I always think Martin's underrated. Same way with Eddie Murphy. I think he's underrated, too. I think he gives a good acting performance in this scene here. I love this line that he says, you know, where Nick tells T, like, I can get my life back. And I love what Martin says here. Now, Martin, he's not an asshole. He has some sense of integrity, and he actually does care for Nick. So he gives him the money back, and I love what Martin said. I ain't gonna hold you up, Quez. This broke my heart for him. What he says, it broke my heart for him. Where he says, "Yeah, that's cool, but there's only one problem, Nick. I get my life back too." Quez, when he said that, my heart. Yeah, it broke for him right there. Because you forget, like, damn, that's right. Like, the biggest reason he did this was for his family and to move him out the hood. So when he said that, I was like, that was some real shit, Martin said. I get my life back, too. So that was I thought that was a great scene. I thought that was a great scene there.
And it goes back to everything in perspective, because at the end of the day, Nick was trying to figure out, okay, I got my wife back. I never really lost her. So I just got to fix everything, and my life would be back to normal. Everything would be all square. But T was looking at that money as like a sense of hope, to where it's like he can help rebuild himself, get his family straight, or at least get them some consistency with the money that they was going to get, and then start anew, or then at least get something in the right direction where he can afford to take care of his family. And then he didn't believe Nick understood that, because going into it, his idea and the plan was to get the money, split it 50-50, according to like how he said, and then use that money to help his family. And then Nick wanted to put the money back, and I'm like, no, this ain't what we agreed to.
Yeah, bro. If I was in T's position, I would have been the exact same way. Yeah, you know, like I love when he says, "Oh yeah, like I forgot to tell you, like it wasn't her. It was just her sister and her boyfriend." He's like, "I don't give a fuck if it was Uncle Fester and Gumby. Like, well, you ain't taking this money back, you know." So yeah, so I thought that was a great scene there. Nick comes back to his wife. You know, Kelly Preston's fine ass. Black History Month. Kelly Preston, and goes back to Kelly Preston, and Nick goes back to his family, and they're pretty much on their separate ways at this point. So how'd you feel about this this third act here, Quez, with them getting the money back and their fight over the money?
I feel like everything that they worked towards came to a result where they not only got that money back, but they showed that trust in one another. That T ended up trusting Nick to save him, and then not only that, but Nick was getting his full confidence back to try to save both of them and then obtain that money back so he can get that back to his job. So that whole resolve between them two working together and having that full trust in one another helped pay off with them at the end. It was a good sight to see. Now, I would have been on T's side too. It was like, what you mean? We put in all this hard work to get the money, and now we gonna put it back? How much it's gonna be for me? Like, if you feel guilty, you don't gotta take the money. Give me the money. Ain't nobody gonna miss it.
Right.
And then you'll be helping me out while helping yourself out, because the company, they can get that money back again. They can make that again. That's not going to be a huge issue long term. But at that time, Nick was just feeling by himself. Like, if I put his money back, I got my life back. Not realizing that T's going to get his old life back too, which isn't as great as what Nick's life is. Nick will be fine. T is struggling.
Exactly.
I've seen that scene. I was like, dang, that's just a disappointment.
Yeah, you felt disappointed. Like you felt disappointed for Martin there. But yeah, that was. I thought that was some really good acting between Martin and Tim. How'd you feel about that the sheet bit? Martin in the chair.
They got lucky.
Again. They got lucky again. They got lucky again, bro. So then everything seems to be cool, you know. At least on Nick's end. He returned the money back before Monday. Problem was though, they were still looking at the security footage. Now, because I think Nick would have gotten caught regardless because he was wearing the same outfit that he was wearing that day. But I get the mask was to hide his identity. So we're still looking at the footage, and again, showing the type of guy that T is. He was able to go inside, act as an electrician, and record over. Because at the time that Nick was about to reveal himself, Nick replaced that footage with the footage of him getting his shoes caught on fire, pretty much saving Nick's ass, pretty much. Which I thought was great. You see, Terrence had every right. He had every right to be like, "Fuck Nick," especially after taking the money back. But again, it kind of goes to show, like, again, show the type of person that T is. It also goes to show that, that T actually fucks with Nick. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to go out his way to do that. But he did. Save Nick's job. And then the very last scene where we get to Nick meeting the family at a family barbecue at the park. And Nick offers him a job to work at his building and pretty much run the security system, pretty much. Which, T, T tried to play it off like, well, I got several offers and all that stuff, but you knew he was going to take the job. You knew he was going to take the job. So I like how T looked out for Nick. Nick looked out for T. Pretty much. And then the last bit where Irma P. Hall was about to serve food with her special mustard, only to have Nick, who she don't like, only for Nick to use the last of her mustard.
Every drop of that.
Didn't even ask. Like you said, white privilege, that entitlement. You know, like white people feel entitled to fucking somebody's master bedroom, and white people feel entitled to eat the last of the mustard. So there you go. Happy Black History Month, folks. But so this pisses off Irby Hall. She slaps both Nick and Terrence, and then the last thing that we see is Nick's Terrence family holding back Irby Hall, telling Nick and Terrence to run. And you see Terrence and Nick running through the park away from his mama. And I love how you hear Mark like, Nick, get on out of here, Nick, run! And then we hear that Coolio see where you get there. So I thought this was a great ending, happy ending. You know, like I said, I love how T looked out for Nick and Nick looked out for T. You know, Nick gets his life back, and then he's willing to help out T, give him a nice paying job to look out for his family. So I thought this was a great ending. I thought this was a great ending to, in my opinion, a hilarious film. How'd you feel about this ending, Quez? I was trying to step away. So yeah,
I know my fault. I was muted. My bad, I was muted.
Oh, okay,
I was talking the whole time. But I was gonna say that I still don't like the part where they had to get back the money. I still think it was stupid. But I guess it was the point where Nick, I guess he tried to make even and then offer T a job in the interim, and then try at least give him an opportunity to make some legit legal money and to support his family like he really wanted to do. And again, it's just at the end of the movie, I'm just like, bro, these jokers are lucky they did not get arrested. They lucky they did not get arrested during this whole scrum. But overall, this movie was a cool movie. I'd give it like a 6.5 to I'll lean towards the 7. It was a cool movie. Shout out to Martin Lawrence for really acting his tail off, and his comedy was prevalent in this film. And he did kind of gel pretty well with Tim Robbins. Those points where Tim had to pick up what Martin's putting down, but then throughout the duration of the movie, he started getting better and better with their working relationship and how it translated on film, or what they were able to bring out the best in each other. Because this was a harsh parallel between Shawshank Redemption and Nothing to Lose. Hard 180.
Yes, very hard 180. Absolutely, I agree. And like I said, I feel like this movie. I felt like this is Martin Lawrence. Like if you want to see Martin Lawrence at his best, I always say, and this is the Martin Lawrence that nobody really talks about. This is literally why I picked this one. This is the one Martin Lawrence that nobody really talks about. It's a very underrated film, and I would say, like, to me, this is Martin at his best. Like if you love Martin on the Martin Show, you're gonna love him here. Because, like I said, he's pretty much the Martin Payne character in this movie. This is peak Martin at his best, and this is my favorite Martin film, and I stand by it. So let's get into some awards. Who's your MVP for Nothing to Lose, Quez?
My MVP was T.
Yeah, mine too. I thought Martin. Again, acting wise, Martin is the one that makes this movie go. But his character was very essential because, like I said, he saved Nick. At the end. Like I would say, he had every right to not save Nick, but especially for giving the money back. But it just goes to show that, you know, he was a good dude. He had integrity, and he makes this movie go. He makes this movie go, absolutely. So MVP, I'd definitely give it to Martin. Who was your LVP, least valuable player in this movie?
Philip.
Philip. Well, okay. I thought Philip had a purpose because he was the driving. He was pretty much the driving force for Nick's motivations in this movie. So I would give that. I would give it to Philip. I'll probably give it to. I almost sound fucked up. When I thought about this question, I thought about giving it to his daughter, Tia's daughter. She only had one line. She didn't do nothing. Either the daughter or the security system. Because, like I said, the motherfucker still went through. Yeah, but I can't. Yeah, but yeah, I would probably have to give it to the security system for sure. Because I just can't talk shit about a little girl like that. And so you said you give it a 7 out of 10. I would give it an 8. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Like I said, I thought it was a good story. I think Tim Robbins and Martin's chemistry was really good. I think again, Martin is on his A game. I thought Gina Carlo Esposito and John McKinley, I thought they did a really good job as the bad guys. I actually like their scenes. You know, like the scene when they had their own individual scenes when when they were listening to opera, and then he was like telling them, like, "Yo, turn this show. It's starting to make me sad." Oh, wait, you want me to turn on some? Oh, you want to turn on some Donny Osmond? You know, like I actually like their rapport together. I thought they actually had some good scenes. I thought, yeah, Giancarlo Esposito, you tell he's having a blast playing this role. Yeah, look, give those two their flowers. Damn it, both of them are very underrated. Give them their flowers. Like I said, Kelly Preston, I thought she did good in her role. To hell with her sister, scumbag, bitch. And yeah, fun movie, absolutely. So, Quez, so will you be good for next Friday for our last movie?
Next Friday. Next Friday's the last day of Black History Month.
Yeah,
bro. February flew.
It did. I mean, it always flies by. It always flies.
I should be good to go for next Friday. If not, I will reach out to you, but I should be good for next Friday. Because this last movie we doing, it has to be done. It's got to be done.
Yes. It's gonna be. This is gonna be the first time we discuss one of this director's movies. Yes, it's a Tyler Perry film. It is a Tyler Perry film, and twice we're going to discuss a movie that has Janet Jackson in it, and that will be the first. Why Did I Get Married? Which that actually has my girl. It has Quez's girl, Jill Scott. So yeah, so that ought to be interesting.
I gotta keep my composure next week.
Speaking of keeping composure, one of my cousins is watching the show. He just texted me saying, James, you know, you a damn lie. If you found your wife smashing in your bed, and then let's say Janet Jackson came up to you at a bar, we ain't talking about me, okay? We're talking about Tim Robbins' Nick character. Okay, all right.
All people you would find at the bar too. You would just so happen to find Janet Jackson at a random ass bar.
look, we ain't talking about me, okay? What I would do. Look, I already said what I. Look, I was gonna say what I was gonna do, but it's Black History Month, so I can't say what I would do. All I said was there was decisions that Nick made I wouldn't have made. All right, but shout out to my cousin that's watching, by the way.
Shout out to you, homie.
So absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and yes, and he also said, yeah, shout out to Quez. Quez is hilarious. All right, so there you go. There you go.
Speaking of
So
hilarious,
next Friday.
speaking of hilarious, oh my god, you talking about Janet in this movie? Oh my god.
How about I get married?
Yes. Just be grateful it's not the second one. Otherwise, bro, I would have been flaming you would have been getting flamed if we was doing Why Did I Get Married Too?
Look, first of all, one, Janet is still Janet. She can do no wrong with me. Okay?
Now, if we were talking about that second movie.
Okay, we ain't talking about the second movie. We're talking about the first film. Even in the first film, even in the first film, because again, why wouldn't you strap your son in? But
Hey, we ain't talking about that right now. That's next week.
Well, okay, you're right. But again, Janet is still looking good, and again, shout out to Tyler Perry, who definitely looked out for Janet big time during that point in time of her life for sure. So yeah, why not get married? That's going to be a very interesting one. Absolutely. So of course,
y'all tune in for that one.
Yes, indeed. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there, folks. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed me and Quez talking about Nothing to Lose from 1997. Let us know your thoughts on the movie Nothing to Lose. Do you guys like it? Do you guys not like it? Do you agree that this is Martin's most underrated film? Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to check out our Trading Places and Poetic Justice reviews, and of course the previous ones that we've done. Me and Quez, we talked about Above the Rim, we talked about Boomerang, First House Party,
Thin line between love and
Cooley
hate.
High, Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Boys in the Hood, Coming to America.
Life.
Life, yes. No, wait, no, I did Life. You couldn't show up that night. You didn't show up that night. I remember vaguely.
I forgot what happened. I forgot what happened. No, it was something legit. I forgot what it was, but it was something legit why I couldn't make it. I'm still kicking myself because I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Life was still another Martin movie.
Yes, another. It's crazy looking back on this quest because that Life was what Martin did after Nothing to Lose. That's crazy when you think about it. Because 97. Yeah, Life was 99. Yeah, and then Martin really started getting commercial, and yeah, he got at the downside of his career because if you look at Martin's like filmography, it's like it's a very like black filmography, like in his early career. And once it got to Big Mama's House, that's when we really started getting commercial, and then we get in. It started getting goofy.
But you can tell that
really
90s and that early 2000s, like the first couple years of 2000s, that was his era.
That was his era. And again, and also really quickly too, I think another reason why I really enjoy Martin in this film is because, like, again, I know Martin's older, like he's in his 60s now. I get all of that. But me, you, Quez, and shout out to Simeon, we've had these conversations too. Watching this version of Martin just like remind me how great Martin was. And granted, I love Martin in the last Bad Boys. I've always said Martin is the closest we got to old school Martin. But bro, it just doesn't feel like the same guy anymore. And I think I know why that's the case. But do you kind of feel that way, Quez, where you watch Martin here and you think about Martin now? It's like it feels like two completely different people.
I mean, everybody evolves and changes, especially most of the time with comedians, because that's a part of growth. You alluded to it earlier, like if you know, the stage of Martin, what was going on at the time, especially following him leaving, especially him after the TV show Martin ended, and then after his peak run in like the early 2000s, and after the Big's Mama House and whatnot, when that was coming up, all that stuff was happening and stuff going on with his life, and then other health ailments came into the fray. Like a lot of that really changed Martin in the physically and the mentally, and he started like he found religion again, and he was doing that. So a lot has transpired and changed in his life. I'm just grateful for the matter of fact that it's like if he's getting as healthy as he can and he can still perform and do what he do, like he's been on tour. Like he's trying to get back into the swing of things as best as he can and try to give at least a little bit of what his fans came up to grow and love what he do with his act. But again, not everybody's the same when they first come out. That change is there, but Martin's has been through a lot more than other actors. I mean, for other actors and comedians. And I'll just say this real quick and then we can close it out. If you guys have not seen, it was like this interview that Dave Chappelle did like on a talk show. I don't remember if it was on Donahue or whatever the case may be. They mentioned Martin Lawrence.
Inside the actor studio. I know exactly what you're talking. It was inside the actor studio.
Bet, appreciate that. It was inside the actor studio, and they brought the subject of Martin and Chappelle and Martin. Of course, they did Blue Street together, and then they was talking about the incident that Martin got into, and for the matter of fact of people trying to think, oh, Martin's crazy, he's wild, he's an addict, he's this, he's that. And then Chappelle had to remind everybody, it's like, one, Martin's my friend, which shout out to Dave Chappelle, he never bailed on Martin Lawrence in anything. He never bailed on him. So big shout out to Chappelle for that. But he also mentioned to the fact that it's like, are y'all trying to call out Martin if you thought like he's screaming because he's crazy, or did you ever process that he really needed help? You try to talk about he's sick, but the way you perceive Martin and try to label him, maybe we're the ones who's really sick.
Yeah. Yeah, legendary moment from Dave Chappelle there. But yeah, but I'm even though I'm grateful that Martin, of course, I'm grateful that Martin's still with us, still working. Speaking of Blue Streak, that he recently announced that there is going to be a Blue Streak 2.
No!
So he's in the middle of working on.
No.
Yes. Yes. He put it out there. He put it out on his Twitter and on his Instagram.
I see the news for it. I don't want it.
Like I don't want it either. Like I don't because I think it makes no sense. But I think because Bad Boys 4 was so successful, I guess Martin's like, well, screw it. I guess I can do all my other classics.
But no.
Why would Miles Logan be in that situation again? He made off with the diamond. Like, what would make him go back to that situation again? But yeah, we are getting the Blue Streak 2. But it could be good though. Beverly Hills Cop 4, in my opinion, was good. So it could be good. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens.
But Coming to America 2 wasn't good.
Yeah, that movie was a disappointment. That was a disappointment.
Which we also covered, Coming to America. We also covered that one.
Oh yeah,
that was the one where I fell
superior. Yes, that was the one where you fell asleep. Yes. But all in all, though, shout out to Martin. Happy he's still here. But like I'm saying all throughout this review, like if you really want to see Martin Lawrence be Martin Lawrence, this is the movie to watch. So we'll see y'all next Friday for Why Did I Get Married? And thank you for hanging out with us tonight for another Black History Month movie review. I'm Primetime J. Thomas with Quez the Man. And we'll see y'all later. Y'all stay black and stay safe. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Like